Here's him.
So I just
Jim,
had a lot of memories when Papa died that I wanted to get down. So this is kind of inspired by Papa's death, and I wrote it before I thought I was going to, or I started before I thought I was going to come, and I haven't. I sort of hammered it out a little bit ago, so I'll just read it. So people say smells are the greatest trigger of memory, but for me it may be the words Lake Cumberland. With these two words, I'm sitting, geez, it's long, so can't. On the back porch of the cottage, listening to the birds sing and gobbling up breakfast. Papa has already greased the wild mouse and headed down to the water. My brother and I climb aboard next and watch the oily spool slowly unwind as we descend down the hill. And at the dock is Papa, sun-kissed and strong, holding a tub of mealy worms. Yeah. He shows me how to weave the worms just so on the hook, and when I finally catch a fish, how to hold down the bluegill's spiky fins before easing out the hook. The fish stop biting, and Chip and I head to the shore. He skips the flat pieces of rock we peel off the crumbling shale, and Papa tells us just how very deep the water is. By now, everyone else has arrived. Mama, B.A., my sisters, and I pile into the canoe and paddle to the back of the cove. We press our hands against the rock and let the waterfalls splash over our fingers. Turtles slide off their logs as we pass by. On the way back, we sing Michael rowed his boat ashore and I left the mountains out of the rolling hills and around. Gooey bars complete a lunch of olive nut, minnow cheese, and combos. Mama, Abby, Ann, and I play a game of Cumberland Knock Knock. Mama wins and scoops up the pennies.
Don't sit next to him.
Papa sits in the driver's seat of the pontoon, bouncing my baby cousin Paige on his knee. He, my dad, and Uncle John convince each other that the Cats have a good shot at the title this year. A dip in the water comes next. In a few years, it will be Haley and Megan in the life jackets and me in a ski belt. But for now, I snap up my life jacket and jump in. B.A. takes a swim, Linda floats, Chip hides under the pontoon, and my mom and I wriggle our toes, marveling at the clarity of the water. Soon, Papa stands at the edge of the dock. Finn, he says, it's time. The water is like glass. And indeed it is. We head into the boathouse. Inside it's surprisingly dark, and the water glows a phosphorescent lime as fish dart under the dock. Papa loads skis into the runabout and raises the squeaky boathouse door. On an ambitious day, we may head to 76 Falls, and later the lodge where we feed raccoons and Papa refuses to let anyone else pay. But today we choose a back bay. My dad floats next to me, holding me by the shoulders in my life jacket. Keep your skis parallel and your head up, he says. Advice his own father gave him, I am sure. Papa eases on the gas, and the boat lifts me out of the water. My skis sliced in the mountains, reflected in the glassy water. On the way home, Papa lets Chip drive. I lay my head in my dad's lap and gaze at the trees along the shore. Oh, how I love these mountains. Oh, how I love these rolling hills. Papa shimmies the boat into the boathouse, master behind the wheel. After a lake shower, we ride the wild mouse back up the hill. Sunbathing lizards scamper off the rails. Papa debates and decides to grease the wild mouse one more time. She had a busy day, Finn. In later years, we would walk up to the Robinsons for dinner, past sunflowers taller than my dad. But for now, we squeeze around a table and laugh and tell stories. After dinner, Papa slips away for a bourbon while the rest of us play Michigan Roundy. As we say goodnight, Papa kisses the top of my head. You're good kids, he says, you're good kids. And where to now, Papa, that our quiet architect, our steady port is gone? You gave us the experiences that make a childhood, that buoyant reservoir of happy memories that we draw on in times of need. And isn't this the greatest gift? You were a good grandfather, Papa, a good grandfather.
Oh.
You're here. Very lovely.
To Papa.
So,